Hello, I'm here with you today to discuss a medical order called Provider Orders for Life-Sustaining Treatment, and shortened to POLST, POLST, and how POLST can impact you as well as your family and friends. What is a portable order for life-sustaining treatment, known as POLST? First, let's review. A POLST is a medical order completed between the medical provider, a doctor, a nurse, a physician, etc., and the patient. It allows patients with chronic illnesses or age-related health deterioration to list exactly what they want done should they, the patient, may face future medical emergencies. A POLST gives patients who are chronically ill more control over their care. Unlike other health directives, such as a living will, which is often completed when the patient is healthy, a POLST form can be completed when the patient faces changes in health, such as a diagnosis of a serious health condition, cancer, for example. A POLST form is more likely to be recognized by emergency medical responders. A POLST form tells all healthcare providers during a medical emergency what the patient wants. Some examples include the following: take me to the hospital, or I want to stay here. Yes, attempt CPR, or no, do not attempt CPR. These are the medical treatments I want. This is the care plan I want followed. POLST is not for everyone. A POLST is designed for individuals who are seriously ill or those who are in very poor health, regardless of their age. What is the difference between a POLST and a Do Not Resuscitate Order, known as DNR? A POLST is more comprehensive than a Do Not Resuscitate Order, known as DNR. A DNR is a simple document that tells medical providers, such as doctors and nurses, whether to perform CPR if the patient's heart stops beating and the patient stops breathing and is unresponsive. A POLST includes the patient's specific instructions about whether to perform CPR if they stop breathing. It can also state that the patient doesn't want to go back to the hospital for medical care, or does not want to be placed on a ventilator as a long-term life-sustaining measure. It can also be determined by the patient to state that they wish that medical providers do everything possible to save and/or sustain their life. On the other hand, a DNR is limited to whether or not a patient wants to be saved or left to pass away without life-sustaining measures. In short, a DNR determines if the patient wants to cut off life-sustaining actions, while a POLST lists exactly what actions should be taken regarding life-sustaining measures and how those actions should be done. Does a POLST override other health directives that are already set up? The intention behind a health directive is for individuals when they are healthy to fill out a health directive to tell family and the medical team what to do if they become in a coma, are unable to make their own decisions pertaining to their health care. The health directive tells your providers what decisions you want to be made if you are unable to do so. A POLST is intended for people who have already been diagnosed with a serious illness. A POLST form does not replace your other directives such as a living will. It is an additional directive and does not replace other directives already in place. How long is a POLST form good for? A POLST form does not expire, but should be reviewed whenever the patient is transferred from one type of care setting to another, such as a hospital, rehab facility, and so forth, has a big change in health status, changes primary provider, example being a doctor or surgeon, changes their treatment preferences or goals of care. If any of these happen, it is good practice to review the POLST form and make any updates necessary. If a patient decides on completing a POLST form, the form is copied into their medical file, and copies are given to close family members and legal decision makers appointed by the patient. For more information, visit the National POLST website. The website provides resources about completing the form, state programs for advanced care planning, as well as other resources related to POLST and/or healthcare planning.